Welcome, language lovers. The Arabic language is a lot like a vast, deep ocean, just absolutely packed with linguistic pearls and incredibly precise meanings. But how on earth do we navigate this ocean without a map or a compass? Well, today we are setting off on an exciting journey to decode the most important tools in the history of the Arabic language, the dictionaries. We're going to see exactly how brilliant Arab scholars invented highly precise systems to preserve the language, and how this whole craft evolved from just trying to protect the Quranic text all the way to the massive digital and historical encyclopedias we have today. So, buckle up and get ready to uncover the secrets of the Arabic dictionary.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Our roadmap for today is super clear. We're going to start with the puzzle of word and meaning, then we'll compare words, dictionaries versus meanings dictionaries. After that, we'll uncover the translator's secret weapon, track the journey of how these dictionaries evolved, and finally wrap up with some mind-blowing modern marvels. Let's get to it.
Moving to part 1, the puzzle of word and meaning. Let's start with a really relatable, everyday struggle that pretty much every student or writer faces at some point.
Think about this for a second. Have you ever had a brilliant idea, a crystal clear picture in your head, but the exact right word was just escaping you? It's right on the tip of your tongue, right? Or, on the flip side, how many times have you been reading an old text or a literary article and bumped into a bizarre word and you have absolutely no clue what it means? That, right there, is what we call the puzzle of word and meaning. Basically, you either have the word but don't know the meaning, or you have the meaning but you're completely missing the word.
This brings us to part 2, words versus meanings dictionaries. To solve this exact dilemma, early linguists actually invented 2 entirely different types of dictionaries.
To make this super simple, let's use an analogy. Dictionaries of words are exactly like your traditional alphabetical phone book. You know the person's name, the word, and you look them up alphabetically to find their phone number and address, which is the meaning and details. On the other hand, dictionaries of meanings are more like the yellow pages. You don't know the specific company's name. You just know you need a dentist or a plumber. You have the concept, so you look in that specific category to find the exact names available. Makes sense, right?
So, dictionaries of words are what we're all pretty used to today. We use them when we read a tough word and want to understand it, figure out how to pronounce it, or trace its roots. And get this, the very first person to create a comprehensive dictionary of this kind in Arabic history was the brilliant scholar Al-Farahidi with his famous book Al-Ain.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer mathematical and phonetic genius of Al-Farahidi. Looking at this chart, you'll see he didn't just arrange his dictionary by the standard alphabet we know today. No way. He actually organized it phonetically, based on where the sound comes from your throat, moving all the way up to the lips. And because the Arabic letter Ain comes from the deepest part of the throat, he started with it and literally named the dictionary El Ain. He would take a root, like Shin Fa Waw, and mathematically mix up the letters to extract every single word used in the language. It was a complex system, but it was an absolute scientific revolution for its time.
Now, in total contrast, we have dictionaries of meanings, also known as categorized or thematic dictionaries. Here, things aren't arranged by letters, but by ideas and subjects. Imagine you're looking for words related to rain or plants or human traits. You'll find entire chapters giving you dozens of ultra-precise synonyms for every single scenario. One of the biggest and most famous examples of this is the Al-Mukhassas dictionary by Ibn Sina, which is basically a true encyclopedia that categorizes the entire language by meaning.
Moving into part 3, the translator's secret weapon. Now, you might be wondering, are these just dusty old heritage books? Absolutely not.
By following these 3 simple steps on the screen, meaning dictionaries become the ultimate cure for writer's block. Translators, writers, and poets actually use them systematically today. Whenever a translator has a specific concept in their head that they want to express in Arabic, but they're stuck trying to find the exact equivalent word, they just identify the concept, flip to that specific chapter in a meaning dictionary, and boom, they're presented with different shades of colors, levels of anger, or degrees of joy. It allows them to pick the exact word that hits the nail on the head.
All right, on to part 4, the evolution journey of Arabic dictionaries. How exactly did we end up with such a highly precise organization?
Let's move to this timeline and see how this builds up. The whole thing actually started with a purely religious motive. As Islam spread and non-Arabs began adopting the religion, mispronunciations started creeping in. People were terrified that the Quran might be lost or altered. This fear pushed scholars to literally go out into the desert to gather pure, uncorrupted Arabic words directly from the Bedouins. At first, they compiled these words into small single-topic booklets, like a whole booklet just about horses or plants.
Those little booklets were the seeds that eventually blossomed into massive, comprehensive dictionaries like Al-Ain and later on Lisan al-Arab, paving the way for the modern dictionaries we use today. Which brings us to our fifth and final section, modern marvels. Because, you see, the craft of making dictionaries never really stopped.
It's absolutely crucial to point out the role of Western scholars, or Orientalists, who were fascinated by the Arabic language. They brought in modern European lexicography techniques and helped integrate new scientific methodologies for organizing and defining words. One of the absolute standouts was the German Orientalist August Fischer. He is credited as being one of the very first to plant the seed for an incredibly ambitious project, creating a historical dictionary for the Arabic language, much like the major historical dictionaries that exist for European languages.
And that perfectly tees us up for the Historical Dictionary of the Arabic Language, a true 21st century milestone. And this brilliantly illustrates what happened next. The Historical Dictionary of the Arabic Language, which was fully completed and printed in 2024, spanning a massive 127 volumes, thanks to huge collaborative efforts and computer technology, is completely different from anything that came before it. It doesn't just give you the meaning of a word. It literally gives you the history of the word. When did it first appear? What did it mean in the pre-Islamic era? How did it change during the Abbasid period? And how do we use it today? It's literally a time machine that takes you on a journey tracking the life of words and the evolution of the Arabic mind.
So, the biggest takeaway here is that we need to change how we view these tools. These dictionaries aren't just boring, dusty, academic assignments. No way. They are living, breathing maps that pulse with the history of societies, their ways of thinking, and their evolution. They are powerful tools that empower us to think clearly and express ourselves with absolute precision.
And now, after grasping the subtle differences between hunting for a meaning versus hunting for a word, and seeing how thousands of scholars literally dedicated their lives over centuries to put these incredible tools in our hands, I want to leave you with this question. The next time you sit down to write, or the next time you hit that annoying writer's block, how will you use these living maps to shape and express your next great idea? Thanks so much for joining us on this explainer, and we wish you a fantastic time diving deep into the oceans of this beautiful language.